Hello and welcome to Wednesday Debate Live with Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight we'll be talking about the role of artificial intelligence vis-a-vis media. And with the role of mass media today influencing our lives, we find that no doubt it plays a central role in informing the public. This is as well as raising their awareness about what is actually really happening around us, whether locally or internationally, like what we do here at the platform of Nile TV International. And because the media has a massive responsibility in providing the factual coverage that does not only perpetuate the myth or the stereotypes or encourage generalizations or even the misinformation. The use of artificial intelligence in the mass media today is actually very much growing at a very rapid pace. And it is penetrating nearly every area of our lives today, offering, of course, the mass media as a higher level of richness, with the rising numbers that we see of the connected devices everywhere. So it has become a very trendy and a very important topic to discuss. Tonight I have all the honor and pleasure of having with us Professor Dr. Hussein Amin, Professor of Mass Communication and the Director of Kamal Adham Center at the AUC. Thank you so much, Dr. Amin, for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. And together we'll be talking about those growing trends in the field of media and how is artificial intelligence or AI is definitely transforming the whole industry and transforming lives today. Will there be special professions going on? Will it change the face of mass media in general? More questions. But first, let's have a look at the top story of the day. As His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had inaugurated earlier in the day national projects within the Decent Life Initiative in Bahira Governorate, and more on this important topic in this report, and we'll be back.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inspected on Wednesday projects implemented with the Decent Life Initiative at Al-Abadiyya village located in Bahira Governorate, where the president met community leaders. During his visit to the village, President al-Sisi inspected multiple projects including the medical unit, the technological services complex, and the village's nursing homes. Addressing the nation, President al-Sisi stated that the joint work is key for any development and that the government is in control of everything, referring to a series of global crises that kept ongoing for 3 years. President al-Sisi reassured the Egyptians that they can have confidence in the country's abilities to navigate through the current challenges, as the government had been working to mitigate the repercussions of the global crisis. The president noted that the beneficiaries of subsidized food staples amount to 70% of Egyptians, stressing that even though the government buys wheat at relatively low prices from farmers, the state subsidized the bread. In his speech, President al-Sisi highlighted that Bahira is the largest agricultural governorate across the state, underscoring that the government always ensures the availability of an enough stock of strategic goods, sufficing for 6 months ahead. In his speech, the president stated that 4 years ago, nearly 11,000 patients who needed free of charge surgeries and who were waiting lists received the services, as after launching an initiative to eliminate those lists, surgeries were carried out worth 2 million patients. With regard to development projects, President al-Sisi declared that the government had spent 150 billion Egyptian pounds on the Decent Life Initiative, and the total will hit 1 trillion Egyptian pounds once finished. The president added that the universities built over the past few years, coupled with ones that previously existed, would fulfill the demand for higher education until the year 2050. The head of state also shed light on water recycling projects accomplished in Egypt, whose purpose is reclaiming and irrigating lands on Sinai. The president's remarks came during his visit to the village, Bahira Governorate, to inaugurate several projects under the Decent Life Initiative for the development of rural areas in Egypt. Speaking at the National Youth Conference in Burj Al Arab, Alexandria, President al-Sisi stated that the state is about strategic planning conducted by scholars, university professors, and experts from the specialized and concerned ministries. President El-Sisi's remarks have highlighted the remarkable achievements of Egyptian universities and the nation's ability to address challenges through unity.
So a very important day earlier in the day, as we've seen in the presidential tour, Professor Amin, and definitely the role of the media, especially international media, those addressing the other like Nile TV, in portraying the state's achievements in a sense of awareness that is actually very much needed and timely nowadays.
True. You know, it's very important that, you know, a network like Nile TV International is carrying the messages that we have seen transborderly to other nations in the world, especially for generations of Egyptians who are living in Europe and the United States and other places. You know, there is a scholar, his name is Stevenson, who said that protocol news is one of the most important forms of news, because people around the world will know what's happening in countries through the agenda of the president of this particular country. So in this sense, we are doing a kind of protocol news when we follow the president visits to different parts of Egypt, inaugurating new projects, and this is taking not only for Egyptian audience but for global audiences.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of news that it does not exist in within any other transborder or transnational television networks, because they are covering most likely diversity of news and not really adapting to the model of protocol news.
Yes, the news has actually developed, and many features of the news itself and the bulletin itself has definitely changed throughout what we see in the world and what is happening today. Technology is playing a very important role. We can see as the world is changing, news also and the media is changing as well.
True. I mean, we have transited from the news when anchors used to read from papers, to read from the teleprompters, to start doing the box and going into reporters to enhance their saying, and then to the satellite news gathering and the specialized news networks, to digital platforms specialized in news, to finally the age of artificial intelligence in the newsrooms, and what is going to happen is really amazing. So throughout the years, and we're talking about 50 years, big tremendous changes took place and also affected the news by the introduction of technologies like the cameras that we see. Right now it's many cameras, and there are mobile cameras everywhere with smartphones that helping us all over to get important angles of the news that we were never been able to get it. In addition to drone journalism that we see perspectives of the news that we also haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Right now we are living in an environment where we surround it with news. This is what they call it, information overload. And because there is nothing in the world that we cannot get information about right now, and breaking the barrier of time and space, bringing the news, what's really happening in different parts of the world, whether in the United States or in Japan, in 2 seconds, and see what's uncovering it, and present it to the audiences. The audience will never question the rule of technology. He adjusted himself and herself to consume this news as if it's just a piece of cake that you should present to them every day. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult process and very complicated one. However, we came a long way to be able to reach the position that we have reached today.
Yes. We've earlier seen, of course, a very important role that has been played by the youth. We saw His Excellency the President keen to be present among the youth, and the National Youth Conference, that was really also amazing, seeing the youth themselves being behind, the dynamo behind any sort of initiatives present and the achievement present. Well, Professor Amin, you're dealing with the youth every day, and lots of successes, lots of stories that also transcend barriers. They are getting prizes, they are recognized for efforts that they have made. And this requires also that the coaches and the professors would work on their strong points as well and help in that respect. How are we promoting this important role that is played by the youth today, especially that they have become part of our decision-making process in the country?
Okay. I just want to start by saying, Egypt is ranked 32 in terms of wealth among other countries in the Arab world, like Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. But the 3 countries are rich in certain things. Egypt is counted for the powerful youth base that could really change the economy to a better economy, to compete with other first world nations. And we have read this before in many reports. But when we see the president is always pushing the youth, as the visits that of today and the National Youth Conference, I'm very happy to say that after 3 years the conference is back, and the conference is a gathering of youth not only from Egypt region and the world. It's really creating a base for the future. Those who are coming together, discussing issues together, they are going to be friends for life. And we have seen this in other countries in the world, like in South Africa, for example, and the kind of partnership and association between the groups who are in years. They stay together and work together and create entrepreneurial opportunities and projects for the wealth of the country. So this is one thing. The second is, of course, the participation of the projects outside of Egypt. So those who are coming and they do have an impact or new project, they invite their friends from Egypt to work outside, which is, again, is good for the economy of other nations as well as, good for the Egyptian economy.
Yes, definitely.
So the third is the technology part. This platform in Burj Al Arab about the new technological university that is one of 7 technological universities in Egypt. This new project is having some faculties that we haven't heard about them before, and the new technology is going to enhance the economy once we graduate, students with skills and knowledge, these are going to contribute to the wealth of the nation in in the near future. So the president is behind the youth because the youth constitute more than 60% of the population, and they are, as stated in the international report, constitute the wealth of Egypt in the near future. And as they said, we are ranked 32 country in the world in terms of wealth. So this is something that I have to share with you and share with the audiences, because people, they always think about the difficulties that we're passing through, and they don't think about what's coming in the futures. Yeah, the opportunities.
Yes. Lots of opportunities that we've seen also earlier in the day with the Decent Life initiative being also the center of attention. This is a great initiative that had actually transformed lives here in Egypt, especially for the lives of inhabitants in Upper Egypt and also in the rural areas. The media also is playing a very important role in providing this sense and level of awareness about what is happening, and not only that, but also encouraging the culture of volunteering amidst the youth. How can you volunteer? How can you volunteer with your time, with your efforts in important circles to make your country better? And we are all working within that noble cause. True.
First of all, of course, this project is a very noble project. Second, if we left the villages and to the situation that there were before, and I think it will be nice to compare and contrast what happened before, or at the village before, 5 years ago, and the changes that took place in the village right now, and the kind of all kinds of projects that are introduced in this village, and how we transform this particular village into a modern village that is very productive and matches internationally other villages that we see in the advanced world. So I'm very proud of this, and as I said before, it's very noble. The second is one of the important things, that people who are started to taste this kind of life, they will never go back to the misery or the miserable situation that they have before. Although there are debates, people, they want to go back because they are some claiming, and from the opposition, for example, that this was better. But of course, this is, again, by all standards of all the international agencies, that no countries in the world will go back if they seek prosperity and if they seek goodwill for their own people.
Yes.
So again, this is something that we should really be very proud of. I will just go back to the media coverage of this kind. I would think that in addition to what the media is doing, the people of these villages that have been subject to transformation, they should be the one to document what they were before and what they are.
How it has transformed their lives.
They have smartphones. Egypt is completely covered by telecommunication networks, and almost whether 4G or at least 3G, so they can take pictures and they can share it, and they can do and save it for other generation to as a part of our history that is being changed. And this is again something that I wanted very much to invite those who are living in these villages to act as journalists, citizen journalists, and therefore document what's really happening and share this experience afterwards. And believe me, there are so many wonderful products could come up for documentary films, for short reports that we can share with the rest of the world.
Definitely, it's very important that we would have this pool of communication. We'll be talking more about artificial intelligence and media, and also the preparation of new media cadres and more creative cadres. We'll be back. Is highlighting the importance that Egypt attaches to the youth and their capabilities, and all over the different universities, actually the youth are considered to be a priority. At Kamal Adham Center, Professor Amin, we know that big stars have been there. Your students been trained at your hands, and it is actually a treasure, the treasure of youth, pinning high hopes on the youth. Documentaries, features, great hits that has not only been recognized locally but also internationally.
Yes. The center is a center of excellence, and we do not accept students who are wanting to have a relaxed, mediocre kind of career. So we push hard. And the center is well recognized around the world as one of the best centers in this specialization. And also our students won in the past 5 years around 48 international awards in different global conferences like the Broadcast Education Association, Festival of Arts, which is very prestigious, the World Congress for Journalism Education, also very prestigious, and other places in Asia and Latin America, as well as in Europe. So we have a wall of fame that from the first class, I tell the students, if you're not going to work with me and work hard to win an international award, this is not your place. Because I don't want a CV saying, you participated in this or you had an internship in that. I want the first item is I won an international award from this particular platform. So we, it's one-man show where the students learn how to produce a report by themselves, doing every single thing, using camera, microphones, lighting, editing, adding sound, graphics. And now we are introducing artificial intelligence, so they will be able to use some also new techniques. There are, in the masters in television and digital journalism, some of the students who got wonderful jobs, and they are working in
prestigious institutes.
Yes, absolutely, prestigious networks, and they are not working over there. They are leading over there, and of course they're taking top salaries. And this, we would like to generalize our experiences that happened in the past with the students who are seeing the changes that being taking place with regard to technology. So we keep updating our technology every year, and also we train the trainers. And we introduce diplomas. We have a diploma in digital, the digital media diploma that offer courses in mobile journalism, and multimedia journalism, and data journalism, and others. And they produce wonderful projects. And this is again going to compete with other projects, and hopefully we will get awards. The more awards we get from international platforms, the more ranking that we achieve, and we are now are not doing bad. We are among the top 10 with regard to the broadcast education station ranking. So those who are graduate from the center, they already find jobs and in a difficult environment. But also this is television and digital journalism. So they have to be trained in digital environments, and they have to take full responsibility of their acts, doing stories inside the university and outside. And as you know, that the students run television station, AEC TV, that anybody can access it from the YouTube and watch the kind of work of the students. And this work matches the international standards like any report you see from CNN. So we insist on quality and we don't compromise. So this is actually in the syllabus. I am not a compromiser. You either perfect your work or you're giving me a mediocre work that I'm not going to accept, and it's going to reflect in your grade. So anyway.
Congratulations, Professor. I mean, let's watch together excerpts of the graduation of the Masters of Arts ceremony.
That was a week ago.
That was a week ago, and that was a great success.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
The American University in Cairo School of Global Affairs and Public Policy held the annual awards ceremony of the graduates of Masters of Arts in Television and Digital Journalism classes of 2021, 2022, and 2023, headed by Professor Hussein Amin, the director of Kamal Adham Center.
All the AUC graduates, they enjoy a high caliber of skills and knowledge. The graduates of the Adham Center for Television Journalism, they obtained the equivalency from the Supreme Council of National Universities, Sector of Media and Communication for 5 years. So in addition, we are recognized by the Middle States accreditation system. We are recognized also by the Egyptian accreditation system.
Dr. Hussein Amin honored the media figure Amr Lisi, the Egyptian TV presenter and president of the Islamic Cooperation States Broadcasting Union, OSBU, for his fruitful journey in the field of media.
سعيد النهارده بتكريمي منح جائزة الإنجاز مدى الحياة.
I'm really pleasured because I was honored by the American University in Cairo, and it was given to me the Completion for Life Award by Kamal Adham Center for all my contributions in the field of media. I exerted all my efforts to reach the poor and the marginalized. I try to show their needs as my role is the honest media and bearing responsibility towards the society. The master's program is a 33-credit-hour intensive curriculum that provides comprehensive knowledge of the theories and practices of television journalism and digital media, in addition to the specialized skills needed to hit the ground running in television and multimedia news.
It was a journey full of experiences because we have a profound exposure to all the aspects of the field. We learn from editing to shooting to doing the scripts to having an immersive overview of all the aspects of the field itself.
Graduates of this program can hold jobs as journalists, editors, anchors, program presenters, broadcasters, producers, web designers, reporters, commentators, and graphic designers. They work in the fields of digital journalism, social media, and online newspapers. The graduates of Masters of Art and Television and Digital Journalism are celebrating their graduation, a great future ahead in the field of media. From the American University in Cairo, Minna Dessouki, Nile TV International.
We're back, and tonight also we're discussing the role of the AI in shaping public opinion and in mass media today. Definitely a great revolution, let me say, Professor Amin.
Absolutely, it is a revolution by all standards.
Yes.
The artificial intelligence in 2 years achieved so many things that nobody will imagine. You know, again, it affected every aspect in life. And it is, with particular reference to AI in journalism education and media studies education, is going to also to play a very effective role. I just came back from Spain, from Pamplona, where I presented with a professor from Columbia University 2 papers with regard to what's the role of AI in journalism education and why we should really introduce courses in AI right now so be able to cope with the changes that are going to happen and introduce to the market also graduates who are capable of dealing with AI, and therefore I'm organizing a forum. I hope Nile TV International will be there. This forum is going to speak about the different kinds of programs that in journalism, mass communication programs that introduced artificial intelligence in their curriculum, as well mainly in Belgium and in Sweden, but also looking into small experimental programs, United Arab Emirates and Qatar. And we see another presenter is going to present on something, a project that we are working on regarding introducing a diploma in journalism, what is called the AI journalism. And we got an expert from Microsoft who is coming for one day for this particular event to talk about Microsoft innovation sector and AI in journalism education. And I will speak about also something related to 4 pillars that has to deal with the people who are dealing with AI, coming from no background, and what they should do with AI. This is the positive aspect, but there are negative aspects that
pros and cons.
The AI also could be misused and could be creating fear. My personal observation that I see people talking about this kind of negative impact of AI more than the positive impact of AI. So I was talking to you before, and we talked about creativity and how we can advance creativity by AI, and what is the use of AI in the newsrooms, and how we can revolutionize the newsrooms, the reports with the utilization of AI. But people are not really reading. They're making judgments without really examining conference papers or reports or even videos with regard to the utilization of AI especially in the media. There will be wonderful things, and people will get, people who are working over here will get this kind of reports. We can gather all the reports that happening, for example, in the past 10 years and condense it and tailor it and present it while we're talking in a few seconds. So
Yes.
it will be amazing.
Yes. Concerning, and I guess that you've been asked this question a lot, Professor Amin, concerning the future of media personnel with this sense of revolution in AI. How are we anchors going to adjust to this new technology, the devices, the tools? What would be our roles? Will it remain this sense of having the flesh and blood on screen, or we're going to have a sense of automated journalism and more of robots and robotics being around?
The two thoughts are going to be presented. However, you need to understand that AI is not, does not enjoy leadership and does not think of within proper culture. So therefore, people who are presenting are going to keep their jobs, and however, they're going to have what is called PI, the personal artificial intelligent person, who is just like a clone. And this person is actually a machine. It's not a machine in reality, but it's a software. And everybody is going to have, everyone, especially in the business, is going to have this PI. And the machine to machine, so my machine is going to communicate to your machine, and we see the kind of questions and answers, and we get the best brilliant answers for the viewers. So in this kind of setting, the viewer is going to be much more educated. That's why the levels of intelligence is going to boost, because people are going to have incredible amount of information that is very accurate and very true, and it's gathered in the process that is intelligent, and therefore they will use it in their daily life. So educating, the media function is to educate, to inform, and to entertain. These are going to see levels of advancements, and the viewer is going to, of course, enjoy it to the max.
Yes. AI and the content itself, definitely it's going to have a very important effect on content creation, let me say.
Absolutely.
And in what way?
Because AI is, as we can see from ChatGPT or GPT-4 and other applications, this application is going to be in hundreds in no time.
More sophisticated.
And more sophisticated, and the competition between companies. So information-rich, information-poor countries are going to be revisited again. If we start right now looking into AI and introducing our schools, we most likely have a chance to compete with the rest of the world with regard to AI. The companies, unfortunately, the big companies like Google, Microsoft, and other companies, they are in the driving seat right now, in the driver's seat, and they are driving us. But we are hoping with a new generation, with the youth, that they will come up with new technologies and come up with new softwares in these technological platforms, universities that are being introduced, and we will have our share or our part of what the world is going to be about next, inshallah.
Yes, we talked before about fake news and about the deep fake news. And in that respect, in what way will AI actually help us identify sources?
Two things. One is, of course, creating fake news and creating deep fake. So this is, again, it's going to happen. And we see it right now. We see, you know, we see Putin and Biden dancing together. And, you know, this is our artificial intelligence-driven videos.
Right.
But also artificial intelligence will counter the effect of this and tell you that this is fake news and this is fake news, deep fake. So, and we don't have to worry about it. And there are so many agencies in different universities that I'm aware of are really working on discovering what's real and what's not real, because this is affecting the scholarship in universities, for example. Because plagiarism is an ethical question with regard to papers presented by AI. Somebody will ask AI to develop a paper in 2 minutes, and somebody else is working on a paper for 2 weeks. Yes, this is an original paper and this is an original paper, but over here, since there is no regulation up until now, it is difficult for those who are working in academic integrity and to discover what's real and what's not real. But I think within the next two maximum 3 years, we will have AI helping us to discover who got help from AI and who did not get help from AI. So even in journalism education, we are fearing plagiarism that affecting academic integrity for the people. But also AI uses is going to face this problem and surmount it and overcome it.
Definitely, it would take hours actually to talk about AI and how interesting is the conversation.
It is very interesting.
Allow me to thank you so much, Professor Amin, for coming. We hope that we will see you again and discuss more about what about the media ethics code within the framework of having AI tools and more. Very interesting discussion.
Well, thank you for this idea. Maybe I will change my paper on June 20th to talk about ethics and AI in journalism education.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Hussein Amin, Professor of Mass Communication at the AUC and the Director of Kamal Adham Center for Journalism that we are really very proud of. Thank you so much, Professor, for coming.
Thank you.
And I thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. I'm Taghreed Hussein. Many thanks for watching.